feel he performed?
Oh, I think he played well. And there was a couple decisions he had to make once he was forced away from the pocket and made some really nice throws in the red zone, very accurate. Here's one here, he rolls out now. Watch. Yellow's going to tell you that basically, you know what, it could be a dangerous throw. The green is he's open. Watch him wait it out. But what I like, he squared his shoulders up and made a nice throw. Bought time coming outside the pocket, you know, and look downfield here again. We got a free runner. He didn't panic. He knows the back's going to pick him up. Four-man rush. He's looking downfield and watch. He squares his shoulders up again. I mean, and this is the part. He looks down the field, finds a little window, threads it right in there. So that right there for a rookie quarterback.
When Herm Edwards calls a rookie quarterback pretty impressive after just one preseason game, you know something special just went down. Last night in Charlotte, Shedeur Sanders didn't just play football. He made believers out of critics and had Coach Prime going absolutely wild on social media. But here's what ESPN won't tell you about those 45 plays that might have just changed everything in Cleveland. The kid they had buried at QB4 on the depth chart just threw 2 touchdowns and showed pocket presence that made veteran analysts do a double take. This wasn't supposed to happen this fast. You see, just days ago, everyone was writing off Shedeur Sanders. The Browns had him listed as their 4th-string quarterback behind Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, and Joe Flacco. Hell, some analysts were questioning if he'd even make the roster. But Friday night against the Panthers changed the entire conversation in Cleveland.
You understand, ball's ball, but ball never been a problem for me. It's, you know, whatever optics or whatever everybody makes up after, outside the game. But in the game, y'all kind of know who I am. I know I'm ready for the moment. Did I play up to par? No, I don't feel like I did. But overall, the main goal was to win. And that's honestly what we did.
The Browns dominated the Panthers 30-10, and it was Shedeur Sanders who set the tone from the very first drive. We're talking about a kid who went from QB4 to stealing the show in front of a national audience. And when I say stealing the show, I'm talking about completing 14 of 23 passes for 138 yards and 2 touchdowns in just the first half of football. But here's where it gets interesting. And this is where Herm Edwards comes in with that analysis. That had everyone talking. Edwards, a guy who's coached in the NFL, who's seen it all, was genuinely impressed by what he witnessed. He wasn't just throwing out generic compliments. He was breaking down specific plays, specific decisions, and highlighting things that most rookie quarterbacks simply don't do in their first preseason appearance. Edwards pointed out something crucial that most people missed. When Shedeur was forced out of the pocket, and this happened multiple times, he didn't panic. He didn't make those rookie mistakes we're so used to seeing. Instead, he bought time, kept his eyes downfield, and squared up his shoulders before delivering strikes. That's veteran-level quarterbacking, folks. Remember, this is the same kid who just weeks ago was dealing with arm soreness during training camp. Adam Schefter even reported that Sanders was held out of team drills because of shoulder issues. Critics were already starting to whisper, is this guy injury-prone? Can he handle the NFL grind? Well, Friday night answered those questions real quick.
Kevin Stefanski said he was pleased with the way Shedeur Sanders operated the offense, and that was really all he was looking for. The plan was to get Shedeur Sanders about 50 plays out there. He was out there for 45, got a little less than 3/4 of action. We saw him throw those 2 touchdown passes, and as Coach Stefanski said, he just wanted him to get a ton of reps today and put some stuff on film that they could use as a teaching point to further develop him. Now, Shedeur Sanders himself was a little bit of a tougher grader. He said he had a subpar night, but he was just thankful for the opportunity and happy that they were able to get out there with the dub.
Now, I know you're out there fighting the field care, but just stick with me for one more question because I want to know exactly what this does to the quarterback competition in Cleveland. I imagine there could be a shakeup given this level of performance from Shedeur.
The Browns coaching staff had a plan going into this game. Kevin Stefanski wanted to get Sanders about 50 plays to evaluate what they had in the 5th-round pick. They got 45 plays, and what they saw was a quarterback who looked like he belonged on that field from minute 1. But here's what's really got people buzzing around Cleveland today: Stefanski's reaction after the game. The head coach said he was pleased with the way Shedeur Sanders operated the offense, and that was exactly what he was looking for. But reading between the lines, you can sense there's more excitement there than they're letting on publicly. Think about it. This is a Browns organization that's been searching for quarterback stability for years. They've cycled through more quarterbacks than most franchises go through in a decade. And here comes this rookie, this fifth-round pick that many considered a reach, and he's out there throwing touchdown passes and making reads like he's been in the system for years. The first touchdown came in the first quarter, a perfectly placed ball that showed off that arm talent that made him a standout at Colorado. But it was the second touchdown, late in the first half, that really had people taking notice. We're talking about a throw under pressure into a tight window with the kind of touch and accuracy that you just can't teach. And Coach Prime? Don't even get me started on Deion Sanders' reaction on social media. The man was going absolutely wild on Twitter, posting highlight after highlight, celebrating every completion like it was the Super Bowl. You could feel the pride radiating through those posts. This is his son, but more than that, this is vindication. For everyone who believed in Shedeur's potential, here's what's really fascinating though. Shedeur himself was his own toughest critic after the game. He said he had a subpar night, and that he didn't feel like he played up to par. Are you kidding me? 2 touchdowns, 138 yards, no interceptions, and he's calling it subpar? That's the mentality of a winner right there. That's the mentality of someone who's not satisfied with just having a good game. He wants greatness. But let's talk about what this means for the quarterback competition in Cleveland. Remember, going into this game, Sanders was sitting at QB4, behind Kenny Pickett, who's dealing with hamstring issues, behind Dillon Gabriel, who's also nursing a hamstring injury, behind Tyler Huntley, who they brought in to get back up to speed. Suddenly, with those guys dealing with injuries, Shedeur Sanders finds himself in the spotlight, and he absolutely delivered. Now, is Stefanski ready to make any dramatic moves up the depth chart? Not yet. He's playing it close to the vest, saying he wants to continue developing all the players. But you've got to believe that privately, they're excited about what they saw. The timing couldn't have been better for Sanders. With joint practices with the Eagles coming up next week, and with Pickett and Gabriel potentially still sidelined, this means more opportunities for Shedeur to show what he can do with the first and second team offense. Here's where things get really interesting from a team dynamics perspective. Joe Flacco, the veteran, the guy who's been around the league for over a decade, was watching from the sidelines as this rookie came in and put on a show. You've got to wonder what's going through his mind. Is he seeing his role potentially changing? Is he seeing a future where this kid might be pushing for playing time sooner than anyone expected? And then there's the broader NFL conversation. Remember, Shedeur Sanders wasn't just any fifth-round pick. He was one of the most polarizing prospects in the draft. Some scouts loved his arm talent and his football IQ. Others questioned his durability and whether his game would translate to the NFL level. Friday night went a long way toward answering those questions. The kid showed mobility that we hadn't seen much of during training camp. He rushed for 19 yards on 4 carries, showing he's not afraid to use his legs when the play breaks down. But more importantly, he showed that pocket presence that separates good quarterbacks from great ones. Herm Edwards specifically highlighted this in his breakdown. When there was a free runner coming at Sanders, he didn't panic. He trusted his running back to pick up the block, kept his eyes downfield, and delivered a strike. That's not luck. That's preparation and instinct working together. The accuracy was there too. Edwards called out multiple throws where Sanders threaded the needle, finding windows that aren't always there for rookie quarterbacks. The red zone performance was particularly impressive. 2 touchdown passes in the red zone, where the field shrinks and decisions have to be made quickly and accurately. But let's be real about something. This was just one preseason game. One game doesn't make a career, but it was the way he played, the confidence he showed, the poise under pressure. That has people in Cleveland starting to wonder, could this kid be the answer they've been looking for? The Browns haven't had a franchise quarterback since. Well, let's not even go there. It's been a revolving door for years. But there was something different about the way Sanders carried himself on Friday night. There was a swagger, a confidence that you can't fake, the kind of presence that makes other players believe. And here's what might be the most telling part of the entire night. Sanders said that being out there with his teammates felt like family. He talked about going to war with every guy on that field, about not playing for himself, but playing for each other. That's leadership talk. That's the kind of mentality that franchises are built around. The Browns organization has been through so much quarterback drama over the years. From the Deshaun Watson situation to the endless carousel of starters, they've been looking for stability at the position. Could Shedeur Sanders be that stability? After Friday night, it's not as crazy. A question as it might have been a week ago. Looking ahead, the real test comes next week with those joint practices against the Eagles. If Sanders continues to perform at this level, if he continues to make the throws and show the poise he displayed against the Panthers, then we might be looking at a legitimate quarterback competition in Cleveland. The old saying goes, if you have two quarterbacks, you really don't have one. But maybe, just maybe, the Browns are about to find out they actually do have one. And his name might just be Shedeur Sanders. So here's my question for you. Is this the beginning of something special in Cleveland? Are we witnessing the emergence of the Browns franchise quarterback? Or was Friday night just a rookie having one good game against second and third string Panthers defenders? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Are you buying into the Shedeur Sanders hype after one preseason game? And if you're a Browns fan, how excited should you really be about what you saw on Friday night? But before you go, let me leave you with this thought. Herm Edwards has been around football for decades. He's seen countless rookie quarterbacks come and go. For him to use the words "pretty impressive" about a fifth-round pick in his first preseason appearance, that should tell you everything you need to know about what happened in Charlotte. This is just the beginning of what could be a very interesting season in Cleveland. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, because we're going to be following this story every step of the way. The Shedeur Sanders era in Cleveland might just be getting started, and you don't want to miss what happens next.